Hey guys, this is Kai from World Class Card Fighters, and today we have a premium deck profile for one of Vanguard's most hated clans, and that's Link Joker. Now, Link Joker gets a buff with the new V set for Deletors, and interestingly enough, Messiah also gets a buff by getting a super finisher combo by comboing the new Deletors with Integral Messiah. So we'll go through the deck first. I'll tell you what the new cards do and how to jam them into your Messiah deck. And then we'll go through the combo afterwards. So let's get started with the trigger lineup. So as you can see, we can run all the new triggers as we want because Messiah does not care about what kind of triggers it is running. So we are running 6 crit and 6 draw, and with 2 of the old countercharge heals. Now, Messiah still counterblasts a lot, so if you don't draw your sacrifice Messiahs, you will need counterblast. So running 2 of these ensures that we have some counterblast going into the next turn. And then for your G-Guardians, they also need counterblast, so having this one will allow us to use it in a pinch. With the starter, we're just using the new V-Series starters. A lot of the old starters drew you a card and then gave you power or something else, but they usually had another restriction to it, like a GB restriction, so we just want to straight up draw a card. So we're just running the new starter. Going onto the grade 1s, because our nulls are now draws, we have some space in our grade 1 lineup, and this is perfect because we want to run Gaian. Now, what Gaian does is that after it attacks the Vanguard, you may retire it and discard a card from your hand, and then you draw one and choose one of your opponent's grade 1 or less cards, rearguards, and then you bind that face down. Now, what this means is that when you play against Gold Paladin, you are binding their Criff ASAP. You are mulliganing for this card, and you're binding that Criff, so he cannot superior ride you out of existence. Next cards help your super finisher combo. They are Given and Gradle. Given is after it attacks, you may choose, if your opponent's Vanguard is deleted, you may retire and discard up to a total of 6 cards from the hand or field, and then stand your Vanguard. So the biggest difference is that if your Vanguard is grade 4, that's fine. It doesn't have that old restriction anymore. The only negative it has is that when it stands your Vanguard, it loses 1 drive. But because you can stand your strides now, it can make some seriously strong plays. With Gradle, the main effect we're looking for is getting a force marker and then deleting your opponent. So when it rides, you can counterblast 1 and soul blast 1. You bind one of your opponent's rearguards, and then if you rode over grade 3, you may delete your opponent's Vanguard and it gets a critical. And its other effect is that your opponent cannot move his rearguards, but that's not that relevant in this deck. We're only using it to delete your opponent and then destroying them. All right, so that's all the new stuff. Let's look at the old stuff in the deck. We already went through the heal trigger. We're running Dunamis Messiah. We're only running 2. You can up the number by removing another card, but we're only mainly using this for our finisher or just comboing with Mega Messiah. We still run 4 sacrifice because you definitely need the counter charge, and you can do the gimmicks with sacrifice on your opponent's turn. Running 4 stride fodder. You want to stride, but the second effect to get a Messiah is very important because your deck doesn't do much when you ride Gradle first. So relevant effect, run 4. Lady Fancer, just like before, it helps your soul, but interesting fact, with its effects and the counterblast effect, it hits 16k. So when you combo it with a grade 1, it's going to hit 23 or 24 for that column, which will hit some decent numbers with the new V-Series grade 3s. Mega Messiah, you're just using it to build your field. Very, very relevant. Second effect, also very relevant because it gains power and will help you hit those V-Series grade 3s. And then your grade 3s are your Alter Ego Neo Messiah and your Ideal Ego Messiah. Now, a lot of people run just 4 Greydolls and 4 Alter Egos, but I like to run 1 Ideal Ego Messiah just because it's another Messiah target. At the worst case scenario, I can ride Ideal Ego and still get the good strides that I want. And then the second effect is pretty much like Mega Messiahs, so it can help you build your field when you don't need him as like your main Vanguard. So that's the main deck. Let's move on to the strides. The G-Zone is very, very malleable. In whatever you want to put in, you can. The main things that stick around are 4 Basaltis, because that's basically your main stride, and Integral, because that's your main finisher, and at the worst case scenario, it can be a stride as well, when you need to ride Gradle first, that worst case scenario, and then you can just stride Integral. The rest, you can kind of change them to whatever you want. I'm running Transcells Missile, because it helps you stall an extra turn. I'm also running Amnesty, because you can combo with crit pressure with Given on a deleted Vanguard. And the fact that it doesn't unflip something in G-Zone doesn't really matter in this deck, because all we're searching for is 3 Messiahs for Integral. The G-Guardians, Link Joker G-Guardians are pretty jank in that they don't get much power. So these 4 G-Guardians that I'm using all kind of gain that extra power. Destiny Guardian I'm running 2 of, because you usually combo that with one of the cards, the G-Guardians that lock. So that's why I'm running 2 of that, and it gains the power as well. Lady Healer, same thing. Colburn is secret techs to just gain even more power. And then the last 3 are just ones that cripple your opponent's attacks. So this is very changeable. You can change it to whatever you want. And that's just pretty much the G-Zone. You can see there's no Seabreeze. I don't really like Seabreeze in this format for this deck specifically, because Counterblast is actually very precious. I'd rather just keep my 2 Counterblasts and just play normally. People don't really try to deny you first stride in this format because the V-Series cards are so good. The V-Series grade 3s, they just rather ride up to and bash you. So keeping those Counterblast, and Seabreeze is not a Messiah. So when you stride that, you're basically using 2 Counterblasts and then none of your abilities work. And then Seabreeze itself doesn't contribute to your 3rd stride Messiah integral play. So the other card that's missing is Stark. Now, Stark is, if you like Stark, you can easily just put it in. I have nothing bad to say about Stark. It can randomly win you games. I'm not running the ideal grade 3 lineup in a way. If I was running 4 Gradle, it's definitely, of course, I'm putting Stark in. But because it's like this, there's 4, 3, 1. It's not a perfect ultimate stride potential. And to be honest, with the way that Link Joker can stall and how the integral finisher is just usually just better most of the time than Stark, I've decided not to put it in. But look, it's just 1 card. You can definitely find space for a Stark. You can like remove Amnesty if you don't like it, and voila, you've got Stark. So that's pretty much the entire deck. We'll go into the combo right now. So let's talk about the super finisher combo that Messiah has gotten with the new Deletor cards. Now, as you can see, this field is pretty ideal. You're at your 3rd Messiah stride. You've got a full field, and you begin by riding Gradle. Gradle, you get a force marker. Put it underneath Mega Messiah, just because it will restand the most. And then you'll use Gradle's skill, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, to bind one of your opponent's cards, and then delete them. After that, you're just going to stride into Integral Missile. With Integral skill, both players shuffle their hand back and only drop to 5. 5. Okay, now let's start the attacks. You're going to use Maiga's column and attack. And after the battle, you're going to use its effect. Going to lock the top 3, but you're not going to call anything. You don't have to call anything. Look at top 3, call nothing, and shuffle. Your Sacrifice Messiah's trigger. And they give 3k each to Given, and then you countercharge 1 for each Sacrifice Messiah, so we countercharge 2. And now you can use Dunamis Messiah, Sword Blast 1, unlock your Myga Messiah, and lock itself. And then you can give 4k to something, and we'll give it to Given. Alright? Now Myga's attacks again. Effect. Counter Blast 1. Lock. Top 3. Just not going to look at top 3, but we're just going to pretend we use the effect. Lock itself. So you've set up a big field that is locked. So now you'll attack with Integral. Use Integral's effect. Unflip. Here. Unlock the whole field. You've unlocked more than 3 cards, 3 or more cards, so you Soul Charge 1, draw a card, and Integral gets 10k. And then you bash, they guard, do whatever, you drive check 3 now. And now you can attack your Myga Messiah again. So you just do that. Boosted. Lock, look at top 3, yep. Then Dunamis. Unlock, lock, 4k here. Sacrifices trigger. And charge 2. Myga attacks again. And plus 1. Lock. Top 3 again. And now we get to the part where we attack with Given. After the Given attacks, we have to retire or discard up to 6 cards combined. So we're going to retire the Given and discard 5. And this will allow us to stand our Vanguard. Now our Vanguard can attack. We can use Integral skill again, because it's not limited to once per turn. Unlock our whole field. And now we get a Twin Drive. Well, after we Soul Charge and draw, we get a Twin Drive. Okay? So, Twin Drive, done. Now, once again, we get to attack. So, we attack with Myga Messiah. After the battle, we use the effect, Counter Blast 1, lock. And now we actually want to call something. And we can call any of these, but let's say we call the Given. Alright, it comes into play locked. And now our Dunamis Messiah's effect triggers. Unlock that, unlock this. We can give it 4k. Our Sacrifice Messiah's trigger, we give that 6k. And now our Given attacks. This one's 19 because it got 10k just then. And after the battle, we use Given's effect. And stand our Vanguard. So now our Vanguard only gets 1 drive check. That's fine. We use its effect. Unlock the whole field. Soul Charge 1, draw 1. And it's hitting for like 58. Yep. Get the heal trigger. And now we can do this combo once again. And you kind of know what's going on, what's going to happen. You can call anything. If there's another Given, even better. And yeah, that's basically the super finisher combo. All right, and you can see this was done at a 3rd Messiah stride, but this can actually be done on a 2nd stride, or even a 1st stride if all the cards align. The only difference is you don't get the first effect from Integral. You don't reset their hand down to 5. But if you can kill them, you can just go for it, okay? Remember, you're doing all of this when they are at 0 power and they don't have an effect for their Vanguard. If they've got something like no CL, doesn't matter. All right, so they're pretty much dead after this super combo. Even if you didn't hit your givens from Mega Messiah, you've still done quite a lot of attacks. And yeah, they are at 0 power. So it is extremely hard for them to guard all of that. Before, in the old G format days, they might have survived if they were at like 4 or 3. But this time, like with this, with a bit of luck, you can even kill them from 2. All right, so really fun. This is the new Messiah deck. Take a look into it. Could be a good third deck that you're picking for premium. If you've like said you want to take Gold Paladin or Great Nature, this could be the one that you're taking for your third deck. Okay, so I hope you guys all have fun. We'll see you guys in the next video.